Hey guys, so today we're going to be doing an interesting video. We're going to be talking about callouts. Particularly, this is kind of a weird one. It's coaching callouts. So I might mention some specific things he could change in certain areas, but I believe this is probably just a quick match. So he said that he was trying to do callouts during this game. Now, I don't have the voice chat, so I'm going to assume that his callouts were done in regular chat. And I'm going to go through and I'm going to call out areas that I would do call outs, and then I'm going to watch for his call outs and kind of see what he's doing. So the person that I'm going to be analyzing is XXXROB or Kelthazad. Let me turn down the volume really quick, make sure that that's down. It is down. Perfect. All right. Now, callouts early game, I usually just do some things to keep people watching chat. So I usually start with something very basic like a let's rock this, guys, or let's do this, or play safe in the beginning, something like that, just to keep them like, oh, so we're going to be reading chat. Like just a mentality thing, right? Otherwise, I like to keep callouts very minimal. And the reason why is because I find it's a less is more thing. If they're constantly seeing typing, then all the typing seems less important. But if they're rarely seeing typing, when they do see typing, then they're like, oh, this is important. I always think of it like, have you ever had that friend at school that like never used a swear word, and then like the one time they use it, you're like, oh man, like he actually means business, right? So it's the same thing. Like he can shut up a room by swearing at the right time. It's like a superpower. So anyways, excuse me. I've got a little bit of a cough right now, but that's fine. So we're going to be watching this. In this case, again, call out for your team to go to soak. So do a quick ping bot, a quick ping mid, or I mean top, and make sure that your team's soaking. If you're going to soak bot, ping top. You know what I mean? You want to make sure that your team is getting more experience. Kills are mostly irrelevant. I mean, if you get them, awesome, but soaking is much more important. All right. Tracer is bottom, can't deal with it. It's a good call out. If you feel like you can't do any, and especially with Kelthazad, you always want to be in the group that has multiple people, because you have to be able to chain them together like this. So he made a quick call out, and there you go. I mean, we've got some people having a little bit of fun too, which is nice. You want people to be active. You want people to have fun. Now Kelthazad's in the lane that he should be in. Falstad's in a great lane because he can jump to his team, as well as Gul'dan can deal with Tracer. So, I mean, debatably, but he can do pretty good against her. So now we're in a pretty good spot. The only thing that I would do is I would make a call out for Falstad to head bot. I would rotate everyone top, so that when the first objective spawns mid as well as top, Falstad will be ready bottom lane pushing, and he'll have his global to jump into the team and help out. But for now, what's happening is when the objective spawns, Falstad's going to be in between both of them and won't be able to utilize his passive, his global, right? So in this case, I would be making out a call out just to tell Falstad, and after this fight, you could go top and just take care of that for him. That is a quick removal right there. Looks like they're both going to go down. Oh, that'll be a kill though. Nice. And again, I'm not going to be doing much coaching on Kelthazad. We're just coaching the callouts. He sent me this replay, and unfortunately, in this coaching, he is not in this actual replay. You can't hear him talking, but I will just go over the callouts a little bit, and we're going to speed up a little bit for the objective. Let's see if he does any sort of callouts. Just a quick BRB. It's nice to call that out, but it's also nice to say hold a lane. Let's say, for example, you go BRB mid lane and no one's there to do it. I recommend calling out instead, hey, hold mid, hold bot, hold this. Objective is spawned, which means that he should be focusing on getting to the objective quickly. He's got decent wave clear, so he's just trying to clear this up so that they have something to deal with. And he's going to go help his team. His team already has this, which is great. I like making callouts when you're ahead. So this would be one of those times where I would say something along the lines of, hey, we've got mid. Let's get this much more of mid, and then let's back up. Or I'm going to distract Abba bot. I mean, I don't really like Kel'Thuzad just sitting here. His siege isn't that great. So I personally wouldn't be down here. But they are getting the soak, and they were already winning mid lane. So, making... I mean, hard thing here, it's probably the same distance though, right? Like, mount up here. He'd get about here before the Hearthstone goes off. And yeah, going top is faster. Okay, I could see that. They're really committing hard to mid lane, and it's a bit risky. But, I mean, you do what you've got to do. They can take top, but they've got to make a call for it. That's the thing, is right now we've got Falstad going back to lane. Now Falstad could double soak if needed. They have 3 here, and it's against 3. This should be a pretty decent fight, especially since they're already pushing bot, so Abathur's going to be distracted. It was a nice kill right there, as well as another kill, but no calls. So, I don't know if he's in voice chat, but seeing as he's typing here and there, I'm going to guess that he's not in voice chat. Which means that most likely he's not making as many calls as he could be. And again, you don't want to type too much. But if you're just playing the game, you want to make sure that you guys are doing something with these leads. Right now they have a lead. They're going to hit level 10 first, especially if they could get this fort. So here's a time where I would call down front walls, down fountain, steal their camp or something. You know what I mean? Like, we need to do something here. Now, Falstad's going to get us 10, so if we down front walls and we down the fountain, Falstad can push hard bot and maybe get a fort, which would get us level 10, and then let's invade their camps. Calls like this allow you to push forward and win even further. So I highly recommend making out a call like this, especially if you see that you're going to hit level 10 first. What a lot of people don't get about losing games is if you ever get a time that you're ahead, as long as you keep your team together and on point and doing something with their lead, it's almost impossible to lose in Heroes of the Storm. But what happens is nearly everyone makes 100 mistakes. So as long as you're making fewer mistakes, even if you're behind in the beginning, it's okay because the enemies are still making mistakes. So the question becomes, what can you do, right? Like, what can you do to make it to where the enemies make more mistakes? Or, which one of the mistakes would be if you get hit level 10, then you can force them to fight an uneven fight. That would be a mistake for them. This is a mistake for them. I mean, this... But again, there's no callouts going on. So I may need to fast forward a little bit, see if he starts making callouts. They get their camp. But they've got level 10. They should be making a play right here. They've got Horrify, they've got Shadow Fissure, they've got Gust. They could steal this camp at any point. And there's nothing the enemies can do about it. So I would be making a call for that, especially with an objective going on right here. You could grab this camp, you could grab this camp. And then guess who's distracted for this entire objective, which means that you get this objective, which means that you get this, which means that you level 13 first, which means that you can get this, which means that you can get this again, and you can get boss. I mean, it just snowballs so hard off of some small calls here or there. So, let's move on a little bit. The objective's about to spawn. They didn't go with this, but they did get this, which was a call made by Gul'dan to not cap that, and that was a smart play. Because now Abathurs can be distracted trying to toss a bunch of W's out here, trying to clear this quickly, as well as they're going to be getting that experience lead. Pretty decent fight right there. Now, right here, you want to finish this quickly. It's very difficult when you don't have a healer, so it's going to be mainly letting Garrosh tank as much as possible. I would probably just back. There's no reason to be here. But again, this isn't really a coaching for individual play. It's simply on callouts. But I would back. Again, you've got Falstad who's going in. He's going to soak, which is great. But you don't need to be here anymore. Garrosh isn't going to die alone. So, I would have recalled and started pushing up here, or just gotten health and mana back. I mean, so let's speed up a little bit. And again, another thing is, like, when people ask me about callouts, I think a lot of times people they don't really ever make callouts early. And early enough for me. And I think that's a big problem with this, is a lot of times people only make callouts like near the end. When, yes, the callouts certainly mean more during that time, it's also not that great, because trying to get an early lead is really important and extremely valuable. So I highly recommend making callouts earlier and earlier. Well, of course, still making callouts late game, but there's a lot of times that they have this lead and they're not doing anything with it. They just killed 2. Well, what do? They killed 2. Ultimate Evolution's about gone in about a couple seconds. All they're going to have left is 2 auto attackers, and they have their full team and still have Gust. What does that tell you? Level 13? Boss. Ping the crap out of it, guys. Falstad could finish this up here, jump down, and Gust whoever's left. Ping everything you have at this. Alright? Down it fast. If you don't feel comfortable with boss, ping everything you have at this. It's less risky. Either way, they need to be making a call right here. Alright. They're making a call to get a fort. I think it's, let me double check to see if that's, I don't think I can see the, who's pinging it. No, I cannot. Alright. Let's just fast forward again. I don't want to get into all this. I don't know what they're doing here. Steal their camp down here. Make a distraction, right? Like, you already own this side of the map. There's nothing the enemies can do. You can't save Falstad. He's already taunted. This is a guaranteed death by a Falstad, especially if she got Valkyrie, because it's going to be taunt, Valkyrie, dead. So, Falstad's dead. What are you going to do about it? You need to make a call here. You could do the whole, like, this is the newbiest thing to do, right? Happens all the way up to Grandmasters. You could do the, oh, let's blame someone after they make a mistake. But it's in the past. So, what you need to be doing, wow, no Valkyrie? Okay. And again, what value do you get by going into a fight now? And good, you didn't make fun of anyone. You didn't, it's just, you know, this is so risky now. You don't have Gust anymore. You are fighting a really awkward fight. I don't really like this at all. I would have just simply gotten this camp, waited until Falstad started getting back up, grabbed the bottom one, and when Falstad got up, you guys could go for like the middle one, and you only lost like a little bit. Right now, you have all your forts, so even if they get one of these objectives, they're not going to get a keep. But if you get this objective, you're going to prepare this keep for taking, which means if you got this camp and then got this objective, you likely just got a keep. So there's no point in fighting this. It's a really risky fight. Sure, you're up 1 talent tier, but you're down 1 player. If the enemies were good, or as good as you are, you would lose this fight right here. And you are in a pretty odd spot too. That was, I mean, that's pretty solid. But yeah, again, I just feel like it's wasting a lot of time here. When this could be very valuable. This could actually end the game too. If you would have gotten this, and then gone for boss, you would have had an empty keep and a full health boss hitting the core while you were 3 levels ahead. You still got a kill. It kind of worked, but it's just a little weird. I would ignore mid and I'd go help bot. But then again, Falstad has the global, so that's a decent call. So if you are making callouts in voice chat, again, I would be having Falstad probably jump to you now. Just because you don't want to be losing this fight. That garage saved your life. Yeah, so this is going to be a pretty rough game. But this is what I was talking about. If you would have had a siege camp pushing this entire time too, would have been over. Alright, so whatever. You guys lose like half a fort. No big deal. What plans do you make? You ping for assistance here to get a camp. That's solid. You've got half of this. That's going to distract him. So what are you going to do with the distraction now? You just created pressure in this lane. What are you going to do with that? How are you going to turn this into value? Right? They're all going to come down here. They're going to clear this. Now they're going to be close to boss. You don't want them close to boss. What are you going to do with this? Maybe go up here. Maybe go up here. If they're distracted bot, you could take this as long as you did it outside of vision. Then you could come down and still fight at this. I mean, you got to make sure that you get some sort of value out of this. I mean, he's out of position. Value could be killing a Phoenix, but you are over here, which is okay. That's an okay play. Again, you're creating a distraction down here. Now you're creating a distraction up here. This may create some confusion between the enemies, so you can go through and maybe split them up a little bit before a boss. You call a retreat. You call to help out the team. It would take you guys a little while. I mean, with Gul'dan, you could probably down it pretty quick. You say, get it later. You see that they cleared this and they're fighting bot, so you decide to fight. You decide to go for Cassia. Full combo Cassia. Perfect. Easy kill. Nice. So you made a call. You're making another call. An ult's down. Let's see what you do here. 2 are dead. I really want to see what these calls are here. Because what you should be doing is you should be flanking over this direction. And you should be slowing or rooting the Phoenix when he does his teleport. Because he's about to do his teleport, right? Garrosh will probably give up on Tracer. He'll walk up here. Phoenix is going to teleport right about here. Then you go through. You just immediately root him. Toss out your whatever. Maybe even chain him into Tracer. I mean, that's probably not going to happen. But yeah, you can flank over here, get a kill. And if you don't get a kill, what do? Create a distraction here. Grab boss while the distraction's going. You guys don't have Gust, but you do have Horrify. That's easy enough. So this is free. I want to see what the calls are, though. He did teleport over there, so the flank would have worked. But you call for boss. That's good. I mean, it's a tiny bit risky because of the... there's no pressure applied right now, so they could poke at you guys. But that's it. You do have vision, as well as you still have Horrify. So it's still a free boss. Just a little bit more risky than taking the camp first. Alright. So now you're going, okay. You do make a call up here. It's questionable. Why is it questionable? Because you could actually win the game. You guys are still 2 levels above them. They're staggering deaths. They're down 2 ults. Well, at least 1 ult. You could push with not only a boss, but this. And you could have Falstad start grabbing this, which will get mid keep. At the same time as you guys will take this. And if you see an opportunity to win the game, Falstad could always just global and you win the game. So I would call out that instead. Grab this camp and just push. Because if you get 1 lucky kill, you win the game. That's pretty much what it comes down to. But you decide to go for a camp. Now, that's a little questionable. I could see the reason why, though. So in quick match, you don't have a healer. So if you guys sit here for too long, you're dead. And most likely, Abathur went the healing build, which he did not. So neither team has a healer. So either way, you're taking the safe play. You could have won with that, but the safe play still gets you a lot of value. You still get a keep out of this, and you should still be able to get probably mid keep as well. You recall a lot. I mean, I guess you're just hitting a fountain. Was that the closest fountain? Yeah. Definitely take top. Wish Garrosh would have grabbed the vision, but no big deal. You got mid from it, and you should be able to get top. Gul'dan decided to push with the camp, which is fine. But again, here's another thing too. That could have been prevented by a V-ping, a couple V-pings to Gul'dan. No one said anything to Gul'dan. He walked out there, he zoned out, he forgot his coffee that morning. I don't know what happened. Nobody knows what happened. But what didn't happen was anyone saying anything to Gul'dan saying, hey, let's not do that right now. Back up. Let's help us out with this, and let's try to take top keep or something. Or just back up, or a V-ping, or anything. Nothing was called out. There we go. Now you see that something's happening, and you tell him to back out. You tell him to back out again. Great call. Here's the thing, though. Again, a lot of times people will only give calls when something bad happens. They only start looking at everything when something bad happens. Well, something bad happened and he started looking at it. Start looking a little bit ahead. You guys need to do nothing up here. Literally, you walk away, you let Garrosh take all the hits because he can heal himself back up with W's. And you walk away, and then you just watch the map. You go and look at all the camp timers and go, oh, that one's up. That one's 2 minutes. That one's 2 minutes. That one's 3 minutes. So it's like that's what you should be doing at these times. You make a call, soak 20. This is a great call because you're about to hit 20. Then push and fight for core. You need to say group up. Say push, but group up. That's the biggest thing, right? You're V-pinging away, which is fine. But now you're in a really tight spot. Now you've been pretty good at those combos. You'll probably just, yeah, perfect. You would have dropped him. Here's the thing about this. You got to say, I mean, go help your team. Like, if your team's doing something and they're wasting time on something, you got to help them with what they're wasting time on so that they don't waste any more time on it. Perfect. Just like that. Okay? Now you ping core a bunch. Like, I'm guessing you return to life. Oh, no, it has a 15-second. Don't ZZZZ. That's in the past, guys. Like, you got to help out your team do what they're doing so that you can move on, right? Yeah, they can. Garrosh will just walk up. We've got Infinite Archon. They go for kills first. That's fine. Whatever. Archon should just sit on core, but nice Horrify. Did he not get Infinite Archon? Oh, that's awkward. Whatever. Again, this isn't a guide. This isn't a coaching for the players. This is simply a coaching on what calls should be made. And again, that's a time where I would have said just hit core, you know? Like they got so distracted. Well, Garrosh alone could have just stalled them for a while, while Gul'dan and the full Archon damage would have dropped the core. So, but nobody pinged the core. Nobody said just focus the core. You guys did like 50% of the core's health in like 3 seconds and then got distracted for 10 seconds. You know what I mean? If you would have just put those 10 seconds towards dealing damage to the core and protecting these catapults and stuff, I mean, it would have been over. But nobody pinged the core. Nobody said anything in chat. There was nothing, no calls were made other than, what was it? They can't stop you, which is true. I mean, they couldn't stop you. They did. They shouldn't have stopped you. But the great part is you guys still have 3 keeps. So even if you have problems, it's kind of funny because he says he's got Demon Circle, but it's way over here. So he pretty much is just dying whenever he uses it. What he should be doing is putting a Demon Circle like right here or possibly like right here. That way if he's getting attacked like here, he only Demon Circles over here, and if he's getting attacked over here, he only Demon Circles over here. So but either way, you guys win the game. I think that there could have definitely been a lot more calls, and I also would say that ditch the chat that's unnecessary. Who cares about ZZZs? Who cares about GGs? And who cares about they can't stop you? What we do want to hear is we want to hear things like this, where you say attack just core. And like stuff like that is all you need. Attack just core. Or you say ignore enemies Archon core. You know what I mean? Like, even if you didn't have the full Archon, that's still enough damage to do a lot. And you still had Gul'dan too. Like, Gul'dan's E, he has the full E build done. I mean, is his quest done? Oh. Well, his quest's not done, but he still has a lot of damage. Again, I'm not coaching every individual player here. I'm just simply explaining that just a few chat things would have definitely helped. Overall, I think your callouts were good. I think they were a little too late. A lot of times your calls were already when you were winning, already when you were stomping, and they definitely could have been in other places. But the fact that you are making callouts and the fact that you're also looking at this and going, hey, I wonder if my callouts could have been better, and you're looking for coaching, that's what you want to be doing. that's honestly exactly what you want to be doing. You are actively trying to improve, as well as you are making callouts, which a lot of people don't do. So overall, I think you're doing great. I just think that minimize some of the extra stuff like ZZs and GGs and all that, and maximize a lot of the things that are more like pointing people what to do, telling them where to go, and giving them specific goals. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed this, feel free to send some replays on the Discord, which I will link below. Thank you very much.